channel once again. Do you ever feel like you are drowning in a sea of raw data, like you have numbers, spreadsheets, CSV files? It can be overwhelming. But what if I told you that there is a tool that not only helps you analyze that data, but also turn it into a stunning, insightful visual stories? So in this video, I'll be showing you where Python and Jupyter come in as your helper. So we are going to go into why Jupyter Notebook is a data scientist's best friend, and how you can use it to create powerful visualization from scratch. So stick around. We are going to set up. If you are new to my channel, kindly like, subscribe, share this video. And if you have subscribed to my channel before, you are welcome once again. Don't forget to leave a comment in this video. What would you like me to produce next? I'm waiting to hear from you. All right, let's go. So, but before we go into it, let me quickly say this: why Jupyter Notebook is something that the data scientists always love to use. Why is it the best option for them? So number one is it is an interactive coding environment. So unlike your IDE, Jupyter Notebook allow you to write line of code, execute it, and see the result instantly. And this rapid feedback loop is perfect for exploring data and iterating over your visualization. Then it also combines everything. So Jupyter Notebook seamlessly blend a live code, rich visual output, and formatted text using Markdown. So this means you can create a complete narrative report that shows your analysis, your charts, and your conclusion all in one document. So Jupyter Notebook is beautiful. It is perfect for sharing findings with your team. And number three, it allows you to access, it gives you access to powerful libraries like Matplotlib, Seaborn, Plotly. Okay, so it's Jupyter Notebook gives you a direct access to this Python incredible visualization ecosystem libraries, and it is a playground for you to make your data speak. Now let me stop talking. So let's go into it. Let's go into setup. So the first thing you will want to do is to run your Jupyter Notebook, but then there are different ways. You will have to have Jupyter Notebook installed, and also you can also install Anaconda. So I have a video on how to install Anaconda, and also another video on how to install Jupyter Notebook. All of them are here. So if you have any of this on, I have the both of them. So I can just come and type Jupyter Notebook like this. I can just come and type Jupyter, then notebook like this, and then I'll start it from my terminal. And if I am going to start it from, I'm using Anaconda for example, I can just come here, go to my all app. I'm on Windows 11, so, and then come to Anaconda and then open the Anaconda prompt. So you can see that I already have it installed, so that's why you're seeing Jupyter Notebook. But if you want, if it's not showing Jupyter Notebook, you can just go to Anaconda prompt and just type a Jupyter Notebook just like I did, and then you start your Jupyter Notebook. So here like this. So now that it has started like this, you can just type a Jupyter Notebook and it will start. So if we do Jupyter like this, and we do notebook like this, okay, notebook, and start it. But then I just want to work a local address that I've already created. All right, so and then if you look at it, this is already running, and if you look at it here, so it's already running. So what I want to do is I'll head over to this new file, and then I'm going to create a new folder. I can come here and call it in this folder. I can call it demo 2 or demo 3 or whatever I want to call it. I'll call it demo like this, okay, demo 3 like this, and then I'll come here and then I'll say new, and inside here I'm going to create a new Python kernel. So and then I'll start it like this. Right now, once it starts, I will have to come here. So let me quickly run you through what's happening here. So if I hover on this on title, I can give this file I just created a name. So I can call it Python visualization with, if I call it Python Jupyter Notebook like this, let's just call it Python Jupyter Notebook. All right, if I call it Python Jupyter Notebook like this, okay, so and then I click on rename. So I've been able to rename. So this is how you can rename your Jupyter file, Jupyter Notebook file. And then if you also look at here, this is your file. You can create a new console, a new notebook, terminal, text file, markdown, whatever. Okay, you can do all of that. Just play around it. It will not break. And if it breaks, you can create a new one. Anyway, let's run. So now you have it here. So and then this is your kernel. You can interrupt, meaning you can kill the kernel. You can restart your kernel. I'll show you all of that as we go. Then also you can save whatever we have been able to do here. Then you can create inside a cell. So if I look at this, is a single cell. So where you are seeing now, you can see this is where I'm typing, right? So I can create a new cell like this. That means I created a new cell, and there are different ways you can create a cell. So now look at this icon here. Is for me to create to duplicate this cell. So let's say I write print, for example. Let's say I just write print, the print function like this, and I want to duplicate it. I can just do something like this, right? Now if I want, let me print something, let me put something inside it. So I'll say go like this and then close it, and then I want to move this go up so that this one comes down. All right, so how do I do it? I'll come here and then click on the arrow up, and then I'll move it up. Can you see? So, and then if I want to move it down, I click on the one facing down. And if I want to create a new cell above it, I'll click here. If I want to create a new cell below it, I'll click here. Can you see? All right, so I'll click here and then below. Right, so this is how you can create cell, and then I can delete each of this cell. Okay, can you see the way I'm deleting them? So this is how you can use this interactive environment. Now if I want to print this, for example, so I will have go here like this, and then I want to print this. I can just come here and then I'll play this, click on this play button, and it get printed. Another way I can print it is if I come here and then I want to print another thing. So I'll say let's call the print function again, and inside here I'm going to say come like this, come, and then now I can hold my shift plus enter like this, and it get printed to us. So these are the two different ways you can print you can get your code running from each of the cells. Right now, so the next thing I want to now show you is how to, I've been able to give you an interface store, and if you have any question or you need help with anything, don't forget to let me know in the comment section. All right, now I'll show you some things as we proceed, but then let's go. So now I want to delete all of this so that I will now go into doing a visualization. So what we want to do is we want to visualize a code. All right, so we want to visualize our code. So the first thing we need to do is to import, and we cannot import without installing. Right, so we cannot import without installing. So for us to install, we need to install these packages. These are the libraries that we'll be working with. Okay, we are going to be working with Pandas, NumPy, Matplotlib, and Seaborn. So we'll need to install them. You can install them individually, but you can also install them with one line like this, and that's the beauty of Python. So what I want to do now is there are two ways. I can either click on this play button or press my shift and hit enter like this, and let's wait for it to install. Now while installing, so the next thing we need to do is to now start importing our library. Now it's saying that require already met because I already have them installed on my machine. All right, it's globally installed. All right, so that is why it's showing this. Okay, all right, so then that is it. Now that we have them installed, we need to now import them. So what we do now, come here. So let's import these libraries. So this is how you import it. You say import pandas as pd, numpy as np. And I have also explained, if you are new to Python, you can get my course on Python for just a little token. The link to the course is down below here. All right, so this as here is an alias where you can use it. Is an alias. So instead of writing pandas info, we are just using pd as an alias, just like you say Mike, aka Mike the Lord. Okay, so Mike the Lord is an alias. So the same way we are saying pandas, and we are giving it an alias as pd. So whenever we use pd, we are using pandas. All right, so this is very necessary, and this is how we can import our library. Now that we have our library, the next thing we need to do is to visualize our data. So I'm going to show you a hands-on demonstration now. So for the fun part, we need data. So, and you cannot do any visualization without data, and your data must be substantial. All right, so we are going to use a classic data set, the Irish data set. So we will load it with pandas, and let's see how we do that. So now this is how to import. So we are saying that from scikit-learn.dataset, we are importing the load iris. All right, and then iris equal to load. So we are calling the object. Okay, the object of this class is a built-in inside the scikit-learn, and scikit-learn is a bit. If you're interested, if you want me to do a deep video on scikit-learn, kindly comment below. And I will do a video on scikit-learn. So now that you've created an object of load iris, then you can now use this variable iris here to load the data. So here we are now going to do something like this. So we say pd.dataframe, and then we pass in the data to iris.data and create a column that will feature the names, and then we are giving it species. Okay, and then categorize them. All right, so this is it, and I will hit enter. So now another thing we need to do here is also I want to print the head of the data. All right, so if I want to print the head for the data, so I want us to take a look at our data. So this the print df.head here will give us the row. So let me release this. Okay, so and once I hit enter like this, so you can see what is giving us. So we have how many data? We have sepal length, sepal width, and petal length and petal width, right? And then you can see their values. All right, then we have species from 0 to 4, meaning there are 5, starting from index 0, we have Setosa, all of them are Setosa. So it's just giving us the first 5 rows in our data set. All right, so that is what the head does. So and then we can also proceed to look at the column. So if we hit enter now, let me comment the first one out, and then I'll hit enter like this. Okay, so you can see that our data set has 150 row and 5 columns, right? So this is how our data is. All right, so now we now have a 150 rows and 5 columns. So let's start our visualization. So we are going to work with Matplotlib. So this is the foundation. So we're going to create a simple scattered plot to see the relationship between sepal length and the width. So first we need to give our plot a figure. So we want to give it a figure size of 8 and 5. And then the scatter plot, remember we are saying that we want to get it the sepal length in centimeter and the sepal width in centimeter. Okay, and then the title of this visualization is going to be dataset sepal length versus sepal width, right? And then the label, so we have the x-axis and the y-axis. So the x label will be sepal length and the y label will be sepal width. And then we want it to be a grid. All right, and then show. Remember that without this show, your plot will not display. So once I hit enter like this, and you can see that we now have a scattered plot of our data set. Okay, and if you look at it, this is the Irish data set sepal length that we talk about, and this is a sepal width, this is a sepal length. All right, so this is how you can do a visualization or using a Matplotlib. Okay, so to create a visualization. So but what the limitation here is, but we cannot see the species differences, so we need to level up what we have here. So to level up, what do we need to do? We need to increase the visual with Seaborn. So Seaborn built on Matplotlib and makes complex statistic plots simple and beautiful. So how do we do that? We can do it like this. So here we are now enhancing what we have done before. So we are calling Plotlib, and then we are giving it a figure, and then we are calling Seaborn and calling the scatter plots class, and passing in the data inside, and then giving it the x and the y axis that it should be sepal length and sepal width in centimeter. We are saying that the hue should be species, and we are styling it with species. All right, and then the title will be Irish dataset colored by species. Okay, so and it will be grid. So when we run this, we get a result like looks like this. Now, do you now see the difference between these two? So here we just visualize it without no direction, but here we now know the direction. So if you look at it here, so we have species, we have Setosa, Versicola, and then Virginica. All right, and then you can use each of these to know which one is which. All right, so this is how Seaborn allow us to do more visualization. So with just a few more parameters, we can instantly see the cluster per species. And then let's try to another powerful Seaborn plot, the pair plot. Okay, let's try the pair plot. So the pair plot will give us a comprehensive overview. So how do we do that? So if you look at this now, we are now using the pair plot, and then we are giving it a data frame, and then we are specifying the hue, species, and then the diagram crime. We want to make it a histogram, and the corner true. So and then we are giving it a super title. Okay, Irish feature relationship, and then with the y-axis 1.02, and then we are calling the show method. So once we hit enter like this, so let's see what the result will be. So now can you see what you are seeing? So this single plot now is a data exploration powerhouse. All right, because as you can see, it shows us a distribution and relationship between all the numerical features separated by their species. All right, so you can see the Setosa is blue, Versicola is yellow, all right, and then Virginica is green. Okay, and then you can see each of them. All right, so by their length, by their width, by their length, by their width. Okay, so this is how you can dive deeper into visualization with the Seaborn and Plotlib. All right, now beyond the basis of what I've just showed you so far, okay, but beyond what I just showed you so far, what if you want interactive charts? So this is where we can now use Plotlib more better. So if we want a more interactive plot where we can visualize, zoom, and all of that, we can do something like this. So if you look at this code, we are importing Plotlib and then express as px. All right, and then we are giving it a figure and calling the dot scatter and passing it our data like we've used before, and then we are adding hover. You can see hover data. We want to see the sepal width. Then we are giving it a title like we've done before. Okay, and giving it also a size. Also we have the y-axis and the x-axis. So this is how you can use Plotlib. So and we call the figure.show method. So when we hit enter like this, okay, Now ensure, if you look at it, ensure you have Plotly installed, because from what we have here, you can see that I don't have Plotly here. All right, it's not part of what we installed. So if you run it at your own end, you might not get it. All right, it might be asking you to install Plotly. So just do pip installed Plotly, and then you can import it. And yeah, right. No, so now if you hover on this, you can see how we now have this thing showing us the information, and then we can zoom in. All right, we can zoom in into this. So if I decide to use this zoom, for example, and I zoom in, can you see? So I can know which one is the Virginica, their centimeter length, petal weight, and sepal weight. All right, I can know each one. So, and they are denoted by their colors that we've given them to separate them. So you can see the species as Setosa, versicolor, and Virginica. So these are the three species that we have been looking at, and you can see how Plotly allow us to create an interactive Irish visualization. So do you see this? If you have watched this video to this length, kindly give it a thumbs up, like, subscribe, and share it. As you are doing that, you are helping me to grow and doing more, teaching you more on this. All right, so if you want me to do a more video on visualization, kindly comment visualization, and it will be my next video. All right, let's continue. So now you can hover, zoom, and pan, and this is incredible for presentation or dashboard. Now the final thing I want to show you here is customization. Customization is key in any visualization. So let's go back to our Plotly and Seaborn that we did at first and fine tune it. All right, let's go back there. So looking at this code here, we are doing what we call customizing. So this is where we are customizing our plots, all right, and giving it a color palette, data, okay, and giving it and specifying which is our x-axis and the y-axis, and then we're also giving it a title and the font size and the font width. Then we're also giving it the x label, that is the x-axis. We want it to be species with a font size of 14, the same with the y label, petal length, and font size of 14. And then we are calling the grid method and passing in that the axis y lifestyle should be hyphen, and so this is how you can do. So in case you don't know, this line of code is we are trying to adjust and adjust an aesthetics, right? Then here we are customizing the title and the label, all right? And then number one, we are customizing our plot. So if I hold my shift down and hit enter, okay, so can you see the result? All right, okay, all right, so it's throwing an error because I didn't specify hue, okay, and I'm using color palette. All right, anyway, but then the result is here for us. Okay, so this is more deeper than this image you are seeing. All right, it's more deeper than this image you are seeing. Okay, but I won't go there into this video. Okay, but then what I want you to understand is that each of these is playing a role, all right, in how our visualization can be improved. Okay, each of these is playing a role on how our visualization can be improved. Okay, so if you have any question, drop it in the comments section. So you can see we now have a much more ready publication. Now what if I want to share this with all of you? Jupyter Notebook allow me to share this with you. All right, so in case you want to have access to this code, you want to have access to these resources, Jupyter Notebook allow me to do that. Okay, so how do we do it? Share this with you. It's very simple. All I need to do is I'll go to my file, I'll click on download. Where is download? Oh sorry, this is edit. This is so I can click on download. So you can see I can save it as what? As HTML, ASCII, LaTeX, Markdown, PDF. I can save it as anything I want. All right, so and if I decide to save it in HTML now, so let's say I save it in HTML and it will load. Now I now have a Python Jupyter Notebook in HTML document, and I can save it in my download folder. All right, so this is how you can create a full data story from loading to publishing visualization in one document, and you can share it out to your friends and family and all. Now the next thing I want you to do is you can improve on this. All right, so Jupyter Notebook, to recap this tutorial, Jupyter Notebook is an interactive all-in-one environment for data science. It starts with a Matplotlib for basic control. We increase it with Seaborn for statistical beauty, and then we added Plotly for interactivity. You can create a full data story from loading to publishing visualization and in just one document. So you can practice with your own data set, check out the documentation for Matplotlib, or you can get my course on Python. If you are new to Python and you don't know how to find your way, I have a complete video course on Python for beginners. All right. So and then I also have a community for those interested in learning. So the link in the description below. So the key I want to leave you with is please experiment, change colors, try new chart types, and see what story your data wants to tell. All right. So if you found this video helpful, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more data science tutorial. So I want to ask you, what library or visualization technique do you want me to cover next? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching and see you on the next one. Bye bye.